This is all 10 of the brand new LEGO F1 Speed Champion sets. Thanks to LEGO for gifting these set for review, and let's jump right into building and grading each one and see which ones are the best. Starting it right off with the big one here is the Ferrari SF24, coming in with the most pieces of all 10 cars at 275 pieces, giving it a price per piece of just under 10 cents. One sticker sheet, and you're gonna see that there is a similar sticker sheet for each car, which I didn't love, but there are also some nice printed pieces on the vehicles. Each set comes with one minifigure, of which here we see the Ferrari driver in his iconic red driver suit. Legs and arms are plain, but the torso does sport that epic Ferrari logo. The helmet for these minifigures are absolutely my favorite part. I believe these new molds are exclusive. Even in the new City F1 sets, we are just seeing the traditional helmet with the attachable visor. These new helmets, though, are a single mold and also have the wing for airflow on the back of the helmet, which look incredible. You get the Ferrari logo front and center, as well as a separate black hairpiece for this minifigure. The car itself looks absolutely amazing as well, with the eye-catching red. The minifigure drivers can fit in the driver's seat of these cars by lifting and lowering the front protective halo. It is a semi-tight fit, but this will give access to the extremely complex front printed steering wheel. The Ferrari car does have a decent amount of printed pieces, with the nose being fully printed, as well as multiple pieces on the side here. The tires on these cars are incredible, and this one's sporting the printed Pirelli on the sides. I'm also a big fan of the look of the front winglets or shrouds over here on the front tires. Beautiful car, loved the build. I ran 3 different polls on YouTube for the community to vote on which cars they thought were the best. Ferrari was one of the ones at the top. Here are the grades for each category, giving the Ferrari an 87 out of 100, which is a really high grade on this one. And if you're a Ferrari fan like me, drop a like. Next is the Oracle Red Bull Racing RB20. Strangely enough, there are only 2 boxes out of all 10 that have just slightly different printing on their boxes, and this is one of them. There's also slightly different printing on the back of these 2 manuals. The Red Bull manual in specifics is actually a standalone manual and is the most premium, has a little bit of a cleaner binding, and then thicker, more premium front and back cover paper. I thought that was interesting enough to note, and I will give you my hypothesis on why I think that is here in a minute. Another amazing minifigure with the printed Red Bull symbol on the torso, as well as on the beautiful gray helmet with the red tinted visor, and then he also gets a light pastel yellow hairpiece. The Red Bull car is just as amazing with the dark blue, yellow, and red color palette. The cool thing about all these cars is that although there are a lot of building similarities when putting them together, the designers did make each one unique kind of in its own way with its own building pattern, and each one kind of has some slight differences, which is really amazing work from the design team. A decent amount of stickers here, but the printing on the front nose, again, along with the amazing Red Bull logos printed on the back airbox, look really good. Also, the bullhorn element added back here over the rear wing is sick. Price per piece is nudging closer to that 11-cent mark, and just so you know, comparatively to other Speed Champion sets, we are paying a little bit of a premium with the F1 tax here. As far as what the LEGO community thought, though, on this one, this car, again, was at the top of most people's list, which didn't surprise me. I did also run a separate poll with the top 4 cars that you chose, and I am going to tell you here in a bit which one you guys voted as the absolute best out of all 10 cars, so stay tuned for that. Here is where the Oracle Red Bull car stands as far as the grade, and it lands just 2 points behind the Ferrari at 85 out of 100. Here is the Mercedes AMG. The minifigure on this one has the all-black suit with the Mercedes logo, aqua helmet, and then more of a blonde hairpiece. This is also only one of 2 minifigures out of all 10 that gets a black wrench for some reason in his hand versus the gray one that all the other 8 minifigures are holding as accessories. The Mercedes car has the nice rich black against the highlighted aqua color. The printed nose cone looks great with the Mercedes logo, and then I really like all the small Mercedes logo prints at the back here on and by the airbox. The subtle touches of red around the build also look really nice. And just to note as well, all these F1 Speed Champions are going to be 8 studs wide, following suit with all other Speed Champion cars since 2020. The Mercedes is just over the 10-cent price per piece mark, which is not too bad. On the community vote, you all had the Mercedes falling around the middle of the pack as far as popularity on the polling. Here are all the grades for the Mercedes, with the final grade being 84 out of 100. The 4th car here is the Aston Martin Aramco. This is another one of my favorite minifigures, being completely completely decked out in the all green outfit, even including the green visor. I am really a big fan of the green on this car, with it being one of my favorite colors. However, there are no printed side pieces on this one, so that was a disappointment. Really only the front pieces are printed like normal, and then the wheel covers on the sides. The rear of the Aston Martin here is slightly different than most of the other cars and only matches up with the Visa Cash App car. I don't think this car looks quite as nice as a few of the other ones, but still a very nice car in its own right. The car will come in at exactly 10 cents price per piece and is tied for the second most pieces out of all 10 cars. It was also voted one of the top cars by you all, up there with the Ferrari and the Oracle Red Bull, so that will definitely help out the grade. With that said, here is where the Aston Martin fell on grades and is going to have a final grade of 86 out of 100. We have reached the halfway point with the Visa Cash App car. The minifigure is sporting the classic red, white, and blue and has a burnt orange head of hair, and also has a nice silver rendition of the Red Bull logo. This is also the only other minifigure holding the black wrench accessory. The car itself also looks great with the red, white, and blue color scheme, but does look a little bit bright in my opinion. This is where we start to get the Visa and Cash App logos plastered all over the vehicle in mostly all stickers. There is this red and white stripe going down both sides made up of multiple stickers, and it's definitely challenging making them all line up so the stripe looks straight and uniform. The printed silver bull on the rear airbox here is amazing and is definitely up there for one of the best prints on all of the vehicles in my opinion. Price per piece is higher on this one at almost 11 cents, and as far as what you all thought of this one with the community vote, you all put this one in the bottom 4 out of the 10 cars, so apparently not as much buzz in the community for this one. This is where all the grades come in, putting the final grade on this one at 79 out of 100. Moving into our last 5 cars with the Kick Sauber. This minifigure has the black pants and torso with more of a bright green color versus the regular green of the Aston Martin, and also has a black hairpiece. The bright green coloring continues right into the vehicle with the contrasting black highlights and details on the front wing and sides. The Kick logo is all over this vehicle and unfortunately has minimal prints compared to some of the other vehicles. In my opinion, I do think the regular green on the Aston Martin is slightly better than the bright green, but still looks really good. With all the vehicles being priced at $27, this one will be just shy of 10.5 cents price per piece. And then again, this car was on the lower end of popularity with the community vote polling. With that, the grades for the Kick Sauber are as shown, and we'll put the final grade at 80 out of 100. Here we have the BWT Alpine car. This is definitely a very unique set with unique coloring, but looks really nice. The minifigure has on the blue and pink standout colors with the large Alpine logo on the helmet and torso, and has a brown hairpiece. The car itself looks good, and I really do like the color palette with the black frame and then the pops of different blues and pinks throughout. This is another one of those cars that doesn't have any printing of the logos on the airbox, which is unfortunate, but still a great looking car overall. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but the spoon elements at the front here for the rear view mirrors are epic. These are found on all the cars. Price per piece comes in at just shy of 10.5 cents, which is right in line with the Kick Sauber. On the community vote, this was another vehicle that you all were not feeling as highly about compared to others. That is going to put all the final grades as shown and will actually tie up with the Kick Sauber at 80 out of 100. Here we go with the final 3 cars, the first of which is the Williams racing car. The minifigure has the white with dark blue helmet. I'm not as much a fan of the coloring here with the white. Feels a little bit plain to me for some reason. She does get the dark brown hairpiece. The blue coloring on the actual car, on the other hand, looks amazing. The Williams logo is prominently displayed on the back, as well as the Golf symbol on the side and front. One thing I really loved about this car, though, is the airbox designed to look like a Duracell battery, complete with the coloring and all. This really adds a coolness factor to this car for me. At 263 total pieces, the price per piece is better on this car compared to the last couple at just over 10 cents. You all seem to like this car more than some of the last ones we discussed, so the Williams car fell more in the mid to high range on the polls. Here are where all the grades come in for the Williams set, and the final grade is going to be 83 out of 100. The next car is the MoneyGram Haas and does fall a little shorter than the others in my opinion. Minifigure looks okay, but again, personally, not really feeling the white suits for some reason. The red helmet does look good though, and he has the dark brown hairpiece. The car itself does look nice with the black body and the highlighted red and white colors. There is this large Haas logo on the rear and sides. They are stickers though. I do also have to point out the small Chipotle logo here on the rear. Love me some Chipotle. Anyways, nice looking car overall. This is the car with the lowest piece count out of all 10 at 242 pieces, and obviously makes it the worst bang for your buck. This is the only car to eclipse the 11-cent price per piece, which is not great considering there's no other real big draws to this set in my mind. The LEGO community also made their opinion known in the community vote, with the car getting the lowest popularity vote out of all the cars. So across the board, this car did not fare well. The grades on this one took a dip, as you can see here, and the final grade came in at 78 out of 100. And last but not least is the McLaren. The minifigure is definitely up there for me with the nice half black and orange jacket, and of course the iconic McLaren logo. The driver also has the brown hairpiece. The build has splashes of orange throughout the vehicle and does feature more printing than some of the other vehicles, with some printing back here on the rear, as well as the normal printing up at the front. Definitely my favorite wheel covers out of all 10 cars has got to be the Google Chrome print here. Looks really cool. I do wish they had done the print for the Chrome logo back here on the airbox like we saw with some of the other vehicles though. Price per piece was much better on the McLaren, coming in right at 10 cents. The community vote kind of fell more in the middle on this car, which I found surprising, but I think is fair. With that though, here are all the grades. Final grade is going to be 84 out of 100. My final thoughts on this entire series is that I think they absolutely nailed it. I think all the cars look absolutely amazing. I loved how they changed slight things in the build patterns, as well as some small things with the boxes, the wrenches, the manuals. They just kept it interesting the entire time, and I think they did a fantastic job with this entire series. And of course, what is not to love about these F1 minifigures? After a full evaluation, here is where all the different cars fell, from the top graded cars all the way to the lowest graded ones, so you know my grade on which ones to buy first. And lastly, which car did you all vote for the most popular car out of all 10? The Ferrari, of course, took that #1 spot. If you enjoyed the video, here's 2 more to choose from. Click on one of those, and I will see you over there.